Hello, I'm PJ Bishop, and welcome to my channel and the ongoing series with the Oakland Athletics. We're 1 month into the season, currently sitting at 13-18, which is 4.5 games out of our division, which really isn't all that bad considering that we're 5 games below 500, but 4.5 games within the division lead. So one series against Texas or Houston or whoever, and let's say it's a successful series, 3 wins, or it's a 4-game series, 3-1, whatever. We're right there back in it. As far as wild card is concerned, we're only 2 games out. It seems to be a parity is the issue of this year. Even White Sox at 35% win percentage is only 4 games out of a wild card spot. We're 2 games out. A losing record currently holds the final wild card spot. So we're not that far away from competing for a playoff spot. Despite our pretty poor record of 13-18, not much has been going right, especially on the offensive side. As you can see here, we're tied for 13th in runs, 15th in batting average, which is dead last. This is the AL. On base percentage is 14th. On base plus slugging is 14th. Not a power team, which I expected. Those guys cost money. We can't afford that. 13th in home runs. First in stolen bases, though. But that's just the way I run things. Not very good at base running, so I usually like to get guys that can run bases well. So far, we haven't. Our pitching isn't atrocious, totally atrocious. The runs against is 10th. Starters ERA is 10th. Bullpen ERA is near the top third at 6. And I guess if you account for the fielding, we would have like the 4th best ERA in all of baseball, or the AL. Not a strikeout team, which I expected. Our defense is slightly lacking. As you can see here, not slightly, it is lacking. Defensive efficiency 14th, zone rating is 12th, and errors is tied for 10th. So we're actually making mistakes. Errors are, in my opinion, are mental mistakes. Just not concentrating enough. We did have a pretty busy month. So on April 17th, first baseman Tyler Nevin has been waived and designated for assignment. And left fielder Max Schumann had his contract selected, and he'll be seeking to make his MLB debut, which he did. He's currently our second baseman versus righties. I called up Max Schumann because I needed a backup shortstop. I realized I had no backup shortstop, and when Nick Allen was getting fairly fatigued, I needed somebody to at least come in and help Nick Allen have a day off when he needs it. And Max Schumann was the guy. He was playing pretty well down in at AAA. No, he wasn't. He was just playing average. Right now, we currently have him just against the righties. He's not doing well against lefties. I mean, he doesn't have that much game experience yet. So just currently 4 games. But he looks okay for us so far. I think in his debut game, as you can see, which is here, he had 3 at-bats. He ended up with 2 hits, which both were doubles. Had 2 RBIs and struck out 1. So he had a really nice debut. Got some things out of the way. He got his first hit out of the way, which was a double, got an RBI out of the way. He'll be seeking his home run, but I think for someone with his power, he'll be searching for that for quite some time. But not bad so far, as far as his debut is concerned. And then April 23rd, left-handed pitcher Scott Alexander has been waived and designated for assignment. April 24th, first baseman Tyler Nevin has cleared waivers and was demoted to AAA Las Vegas. So I was able to get rid of him and send him down to AAA Las Vegas. And then April 29th, toward the end of the month, we got really busy. Oakland and the New York Yankees have come to a trade agreement. Oakland sends 30-year-old left-handed pitcher Sean Newcomb and 28-year-old right-handed pitcher Lucas Erceg As you can see, we lost him. In exchange for 17-year-old minor league right fielder Francisco Valoria and 18-year-old minor league center fielder Aziel Arias. You can see we have a new setup, man. Michael Kelly is the new setup since we sent out Lucas to New York. I like Kelly. He's shown that he's playing pretty well. Lucas was struggling, had an ERA in the sixes. Michael is playing well. A really good ERA, elite ERA 2.35, in 15 innings so far. So he's starting to show. It's still a small sample size, but I like it. You know, he's not allowing a lot of hits. He's not allowing home runs. He's not walking that many guys. He's not striking out as many guys. He's just playing solid. Not allowing hits. Not walking guys. Not giving up home runs. Equals to a pretty good ERA. He's got the stuff to strike out guys, so that could possibly go up. Because he's got a really big mix for somebody that's a middle reliever. 5 pitches for a reliever is a lot. But he's looking solid for us. So he's the new setup man since Lucas went on to New York. And the guys that we got in exchange, one is in the Arizona Complex League, and that's center fielder. They haven't started yet, but they are starting soon, 5 days. Nothing special about him. I mean, he does look good on the base pass. He is capable of staying as a center fielder. Offensively, right now he's not destined to be anything great. They had him at low A where he was struggling and not really playing that much. I sent him down to the Arizona Complex where I think he belongs and has a chance to have everyday at bats and get better. Because we do have good development coaches at the lower levels. So hopefully we can push him through and get him going. And the other guy I'm much more excited about. He's currently in Dominican Summer League. And that is Francisco Valoria. Currently, looks like he's going to be a right fielder come if he makes it to the majors. He's got projected for plus power with already average contact. The avoid case isn't that bad. Neither is the eye is not that good. But he's got the plus power, plus gap power as well. Not very good on the base pass. That could change. You know, try to get his stealing ability up. Perhaps over the course of his development, we can get that improved. So he can be somewhat of a threat of a speed/power guy. You know, someone that can get you at least 20 stolen bases with 30 home runs, 25 to 30 home runs, minimum 20 home runs. But he's got 2 things going for him. He's got a big bat with plus power, and he's got a cannon for an arm, which fits the right field. And he can also play left field. He's got good range, good air. Like, he's going to be a good defender. Not quite a center fielder, not good enough for that, but for the corner outfield spots, he is going to be an extremely good defender. Then you add that in with his plus power. That profiles very well for those 2 positions. And if he can just get a little better here, he'd be a complete package for me, which is awesome. Somebody who has all the tools to be an everyday right fielder, because that's where he's destined to be with that cannon of an arm. So it'll be nice to see how he ends up. That was a trade from New York. Thank you, Yankees. This guy looks like he could be a future stud for us. So that's that. So Osvaldo Bido was recalled from AAA Las Vegas and will be working out of the bullpen. Since I ended up trading Lucas, I needed to call up somebody. And Osvaldo has not made an appearance for us yet. Because he started. When we called him up, he was a starter in AAA. For a long reliever, he's going to look like he's pretty solid. He's got a good 3-pitch mix, 2+ pitches and an average changeup. Nothing is outstanding about him. He wasn't really all that great at AAA either. He finally got it together as the starts were moving along. But he was already on the 40-man roster, so I didn't feel like adding somebody new to the 40-man without having too much data so far in the season. So adding him was just more of a necessity than anything else. Not because he was just playing out of his mind or anything like that. And then I ended up left-handed pitcher Scott Alexander was optioned to AAA Las Vegas. And then Oakland and Texas. This is like May 1st is usually I wait to the end of the month before I start making a bunch of moves. So May 1st, Oakland and Texas have come to a trade agreement. Oakland sends 30-year-old right-handed pitcher Paul Blackburn in exchange for 24-year-old minor league right-hander Jack Leiter. I think I have him down at AA. I was pretty happy to get Jack Leiter. I don't think he's played for us yet. No, he has not. Because we just got him, obviously. But I like him. He projects to have plus stuff. Average movement, below average control, but he's got 4 good pitches. He's got a plus fastball, plus slider projected. Curveball should be a plus pitch. Changeup should be a plus pitch. So he's got 4 pitches that are rated plus or better once he fully develops. I know he's looking average so far this year. I think in real life he had a lot of injuries. I can't remember if that was his issue in real life. Because he came in as a highly touted pick, but I think he just struggled with injuries. Yeah, so he's a former first-round pick. So we're getting I think it's a pretty good deal for us. Getting a former first-round pick. He just had some injuries that kept him from, I think, developing quicker. And because he doesn't look, on the surface, he does not look bad, especially with the plus stuff, the average movement. Below average control, but this is, I like this. I do like this. He can be a starter, so he's got velocity too. So this is looking good. Now, of course, the scouting is fairly low right now. So this could change. He might end up being worse than expected. But for now, I'm fairly stoked to get him. Right fielders. Sorry about that. Losing my place here. Left-handed pitcher Brady Basso had his contract selected, and in his upcoming start, he will be making his MLB debut. So Brady Basso down here is now a new starter for us. Low stamina. Nothing outstanding about him. He's got really good control, though. He's got plus control, but below average stuff, above average movement. He did well in his AAA, or at least recently he started to do better because he had a 5.25 just 4 starts ago. But he's brought it down with 3 straight wins to a 3.31 ERA. And we need some pitching help because we're like I said, we're not that far off from competing for a wild card spot. I mean, these guys we're playing just well enough to be competitive. So my strategy is I don't want to wait till July to start making all my moves to make my team better. We might not have till July. We might become really bad by then, or injuries might take over, and we don't have the depth. So if we're not close enough for striking distance in July, then I won't be able to make any moves. But since we're still within striking distance of a division and a wild card, I'm making an attempt to make moves. Let's see here. Right fielder Steven Piscotty was optioned to AAA Las Vegas. Left fielder Lazaro Armenteros had his contract selected, and he'll be seeking to make his MLB debut. I believe Lazaro, we have him. We do. We have him as our full-time left fielder. He's batting 6th versus righties and 8th versus lefties. He was playing really well down at AAA. Was batting above 300. slugging percentage was really high at 600. Had an OPS of 994. Really good left fielder already so it's going to help our defense. This is something that we also needed. He's going to help at defense. Speaking of defense, I think Max Schumann is pretty good at defense as well. He's an above average defender at second base, so hopefully we can start improving that part. As you can see here, Lazor. He's a really capable defender at left field, so that should help us be better on the defensive side and get that thing going up. He's got pretty decent speed, and he's got above average speed. He can steal bases. He can run bases well, which is also another weakness we had. He's projected to have average power, average bat to ball skills. So offensively, he looks fairly average, but right now he's playing really well now. So I'm going to ride that hot bat, see how far we can get it. Perhaps that bat can continue being hot in the majors. If not, at least we know what we got going forward. But he'll be able to provide some value defensively. Looks good. I like him. And then Oakland and Houston, that's right. Division rival have come to a trade agreement. Oakland sends 23-year-old minor leaguer right fielder Colby Thomas in exchange for 29-year-old center fielder Mauricio Dubon. This guy I'm excited about. He's leading off versus righties. He's second versus lefties. I brought him in because I wanted somebody who hits for 300. And that's what he does. And he's a capable defender in center field, as you can see. He's already 60 there. So again, hopefully that will help get our defense going because we've been struggling defensively. Our pitchers aren't that good, so we can't afford to have a weak defense with poor pitching. But he's not a power guy, but he's not going to strike out, and he's going to put the ball into play a lot. So when you have a guy like that, the chances of him having a high average is good. And he can steal bases too, so hopefully he's playing pretty well so far this year. He's already got a 300 average. He's not a home run threat, none of that kind of stuff. He doesn't even have one yet all year. But he's going to rack up singles and hits, and he's going to be on base. He can steal bases, so he's going to be someone that can provide value at the top of the order by at least putting the ball into play and trying to make things happen. And of course, he plays good defense in center field, so that's something extremely valuable. So with his good defense and at least his average offense, to me, that's a win. And if he can steal some bases too, that's a win. And hopefully he can be a consistent veteran. He's heading into arbitration, so the estimate's still fairly low, $3.4 million. I can afford that, so that's good. We ended up optioning center fielder Estuary Ruiz was optioned to AAA Las Vegas. He was playing bad. He was playing really bad. I mean, his defense wasn't quite good enough at center field to make up for his lack of offense. And we couldn't utilize his speed and his steal base because he just wasn't getting on base. Pitching's fairly solid, though. Let's take a look at the pitching. J.P. Sears has been really good for us so far. He's 2-2 in the year with a 2.52 ERA. Playing better than I expected. Playing much better than I expected, although he did get lit up. Back-to-back starts of getting absolutely lit up. One game, not back-to-back, absolutely, but a couple games ago against the Yankees, only lasted 0.2 innings. Gave up 4 earned runs in that game. Got pulled fairly quickly. In the last game, he gave up 4 earned runs again, but that was in a 6-inning effort. Still a losing effort. So his ERA went from a unsustainable 0.62 to now it looks like an elite level 2.52, but that might not last either. So he might continue crashing back down to earth. So we could have more rough starts from him. moving forward. Adrian Martinez is playing at above average rate, and he's kind of sustaining that. He was 3.97 5 starts ago. He's 3.82 now. So he's been consistent as far as how many runs he gives up. His pitching has been fairly consistent as well. As you can see, 3 of the last 5 starts were quality starts. So we got a fairly consistent play from someone who's below average rating, playing at an above average rate, I would say. So I'm pretty happy. There's nothing outstanding about him right now. What he's doing is he's not giving up the long ball. He's got a .3 per 9, so that's what's really helping him, is not giving up the long ball. I mean, only 1 home run given up in the last 5 games. He's doing just enough to make it where we have a chance to win. Alex Wood is struggling. Brady Basso, as I said, we just called up, and Mitch Spence is playing at he's the number 5 starter at an average level. Our closer, Mason Miller, he's already got 8 saves in the year, so he's done a pretty good job there. 16 innings, he's got 12.9 strikes per 9. He's playing well. I think he could play better because at one point as you can see, at one point he had an ERA of 4.85 because he did get blown up a couple of times. So, or he consistently gives up at least a run. Like we were up by 3 runs or a couple runs, and he just seems to give up a run every single game. Although much better over the last 5 outings. Did blow a save against Cleveland though. Cleveland was really good. They were like 16-4 when we played them. But he's not looking bad, and he's striking out guys. Looks like his issue is the long ball. He's given up 1.1 homers per 9. So the long ball has been kind of hurting him. Because he's actually really low in walks, surprisingly. And his strikeout rate's extremely high. As you can see, he keeps putting guys on base. He is allowing too many hits. You can see here, 5 hits, 2 hits, 1 hits, 2. Almost every game, somebody's getting a hit against him. And it's really can't really afford that as a closer. But he looks really good. And of course, as we saw, Michael Kelly got moved into the setup role. And most of our relievers are looking good. T.J. McFarland, 2.45 ERA. Austin Adams, 2.12 ERA. Ross Stripling, 3.86. Kyle Mueller, 5.52. Osvaldo will be the brand new reliever. And Joe Boyle, the 1.50 ERA, doing really well in 18 innings. So he's getting some innings under his belt. And he's doing well. Ross Stripling, I have used him several times already to be our fireman, and it's worked. I brought him in with 0 outs, bases loaded. He got the next 3 batters out, no runs, no damage. We survived, and that was after I think Boyle ended up walking 2 or 3 guys plus allowing a hit. So it worked out that way. And saved his ERA. So the bullpen is actually looking really strong. I mean, you got guys with ERAs in the 2s, 3s, 1s, which is unsustainable. I can't imagine Joe Boyle can keep that up, especially after 18 innings. 18 innings is a pretty decent amount of innings for a reliever in 1 month. But I do try to use our relievers fairly equally. I make sure they're only coming in their roles. What I do is I make sure that they at least pitch every 5-6 days maximum. Like if they haven't pitched in 5 days, I make sure I put them in. It keeps their arms going. You don't want them getting too rusty. Take a look at our lineup, see if how's our stats looking. I know we have J.D. Davis, surprisingly. I guess I only have him. Well, now I've got him versus righties too and lefties. He's probably lefties only to start the year, as you can see, because he's only started in 8 games. But he's hitting really well. Unsustainable, of course, I think, for him. He's got a 3.53. So is Max Schumann with his 3.85 average. But J.D. Davis looked pretty solid. Most of this was versus lefties, so we'll see what he does full time versus righties. Zach Geloff has probably been one of our better players on the year. Got him playing third base. Got him playing, I think, somewhere where he fits more comfortably. I know right now he's only rated 45 there, but his arm plays better there. So he could be above average third baseman. So with enough starts, we can probably get him there looking nice. He's playing really well for us. He's got a 2.57 average. I know it only says here that he's pretty much an average player, and he is. But he's doing well. He's on pace for 89 stolen bases, so he is doing that. He is a threat on the base pass as expected. And then our last guy who's doing somewhat well is Mauricio Dubin, and we've already gone over him. But as you can see here, a lot of our players are just struggling. It's either below average or just bad. So hopefully with the new guys that we brought in, we could have a better month. A winning month would be nice. A winning record for this month would be nice, as it'll get us moving forward. And we can perhaps sneak into the wild card. Of course, it's still a long year, but seeing how competitive it is, the whole AL is extremely competitive this year. So it's every game matters, every inning matters. That's why I made some moves already early on, and I'll be looking to make more moves as the season goes on, as long as we're in playoff contention. So that's it for this video. We'll see you at the end of May.